Neal will come on to the injuries in a moment, but through to the second round of the FA Trophy, what did you make of the game?
Poor.
It was for you two, then.
Yeah, no. It was poor. There's no rhythm in our play. No, they came and played at a bit more of a tempo, and we made lots with the ball. I thought we were poor. Without the ball in the first half, we pressed like headless chicken. So everyone goes out with that intention. Let's play with an energy. Let's get in their faces. And then we're running around, but the forwards were running. The midfield weren't backing them up, and long balls, and no one was screening the front, and we were just too open. We had to ride our luck a little bit at times in the first half. Second half, we just said let's press together. Doesn't always have to be in their third. It can be in the middle third. It can be smarter, but we've got to make sure that from front to back we're more compact. And I thought second half it was a much better performance.
Is the poor performance probably due to the fact that it was 8 changes?
No, they know how we train. They should know the patterns. They should know the work. People have said to me, as you guys have asked in the press, why ain't he playing? Why ain't he playing? People want changes, and ultimately, this is a chance for them to show they understand our patterns of play, the way we work, the way we get out of tight situations. So at times today that wasn't there. So with the ball it was poor. Second half I thought we dug in and we did. We earned the right to win the game in the end, and we didn't have many chances, but when we did, we've taken the one.
Did you feel like any of those players that did come in today did enough to put their hand up for selection for a league game?
I'd have to watch the game back and see some of it, because the emotion of the game, trying to win the game, sometimes takes over. But there wasn't a lack of effort from them. They worked hard. You can see a few of them with the fitness levels, quite a few going down with cramp, which you expect. So that's why this game was important, to try and get that out as well. But I thought Alex Lacey did really well on his debut, really solid performance, and I thought that Jake Keane did really well when he came in goal as well. So I didn't want him to have to be in goal, but I thought he did great.
Go on to Jake in just a second, but onto the injuries. Jim O'Brien finally makes his comeback and then has to go off with what looked like a pretty horrendous cut on his left thigh. How's he doing?
No, it's not good. That's probably put a dampener on the whole day for me. Both him and Sam Slocum, we've won a game, but I don't feel like we've won a game. Jim's got about an 8-inch gash right down the middle of his thigh, but it's deep. It's gone into the muscle, so not only has he had several stitches across his thigh, which is bad enough in itself, but it looks like there's a tear in the muscle where the stud's gone through the muscle as well. So we don't know the prognosis, but it don't look good. And we've all hyped up how important it would be to have him back, and that's a real blow.
It seems an incredibly painful one, and yet he didn't look in that much pain on the pitch. He just seemed. He's an hard Scotsman, isn't he?
I think both that, and it was probably just that his thigh was numb at the time from the cut. So the lads knew straight away. That's why they called us over. But it's put a real dampener on it. I can't.
Too early to tell.
Yeah, it's too early, but I don't think this is going to be weeks.
It could be months.
That's my gut feeling. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I hope so. Sam Slocum, what happened
there? Sam just went and caught an innocuous ball and felt his groin as he went to the ground, and again might have tweaked it. We don't know yet, but if he has, it could be a couple of weeks. So not good. It's
an expensive victory for a competition that's clearly not the priority.
Yeah, and again, we ummed and ahed whether to play Sam. There's a number of reasons behind the reasons we had to, but one other one was we'd put virtually a whole new back four together that hadn't played together for a while, and we thought throwing a goal in at the same time might make it very tough to get the victory.
Credit to Jake Keane, made a couple of really good saves. That was his first kind of senior performance, appearance even, in nearly 2 years. Can you talk to me a little bit about his situation? Because he's really the goalkeeping coach, really, more than a reserve keeper, right?
Yeah, of course he is. Jake's, that's his path that he's going down, and he's been brilliant at that for someone so young, and he's been great around the place. He's only 28, I think, so obviously a few years back he had a bad whack, come back in, and he's found it tough from then on. People who want number twos, if he couldn't get in as a number one, didn't want to pay reasonable money. They wanted to get a young one in, and so on and so forth. So he's found it tough, and trying to find a club every summer's not been easy for him. So, but he was an outstanding goalie. Look at the clubs he's played for. 6'4", he knows the game, he understands the game, like I say, I've had a good chat with Ross about his situation, so Ross knows what he's got to do to put himself in that frame more, and that's out of my hands. That's up to Ross. But for the time being, Jake was the option for today's game.
And what is the situation with Ross?
Well, it's Ross Ross getting him, he's obviously been disappointed he's been left out of the team, and both physically and mentally he hasn't got himself in the right place. And I'm not trying to bring up old ground, but that's a chat we've had, and he knows, and we just got to get him back to being hungry and chasing Sam down for the number 1 shirt, which hasn't been the case of late. So we've had that chat, but Ross has got his head right, and hopefully we'll get him chomping at the bit now.
And just finally, what do you think today's victory can do for the team, the mentality, and perhaps a bit of confidence around the place going back into the league next week at Halifax?
Well, you talk about when you've had a sticky spell, more often than not you end up scrapping out a 1-0 win. So that was the classic one. So we've scrapped out. We didn't play well. We played a lot better at Borehamwood and drew, but we scrapped it out and we found a 1-0 win. What we've got to try and do now is, injuries aside, try and take that into the league now.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
What pleased you most about the performance today?
Probably a clean sheet and the resilience shown under pressure. Probably certainly second half, the way we dug in. Obviously the injuries have been very disappointing, but that side of it, I didn't think we were good with the ball, but without the ball, particularly in the second half when they took on the instructions we gave them not to be so open, and I thought that we saw the game out well.
Can I ask you about Alex Lacey's performance today? You thought he was probably the standout player in there. It's not a bad performance given he's had such a long time out of football. Yeah,
like I said, good pedigree in the interview on Thursday. Good pedigree, good player. Seeing it in training, knows what he's doing. So he's only going to get better. But delighted with him.
Has he given you a problem?
Of course he has. Yeah, we've got a load of games coming up over Christmas, and I can't throw Ben and Connell to the wolves every single game. And I want Alex now to say that I should be first choice, one of the pair. So that's performance like that's certainly going to push him in the right direction.
In terms of replacing the players that are injured today, what can you do?
Well, what can happen now is Ross Fitzsimmons comes in next week, works really, really hard, trains really, really well, and shows if Sam's not fit that he's capable of doing it. Jake does the same because needs must. He needs to be in good shape, even though he's a goalkeeping coach. And obviously Jim O'Brien we haven't had for a while, so we've been used to not having him. So that's probably the biggest blow of today.
Is there no chance of going into the transfer market to solve anything?
Well, again, it's not something I'm going cap in hand to the owners for. They've put a lot of money in. They've supported me incredibly in signing a lot of players in a short space of time, and at times taken us probably over budget to do it, and then worrying about getting players out on loan after. So I'm not going to go cap in hand. We didn't have Jim for a while. And if we haven't got him for a while again, it's just a big blow.
How's Jim's mood in there? Has he gone to hospital?
No, he's in there now, but it's not good. It's really, really not a good injury. It's a massive gash, really deep, and this could be. My fear is this could be months.
How is he mentally? Is he?
No, he's devastated. So and just like you would be, he was playing well. He was nice and alive as you expect. He's trained really hard to get to this point. So then have the kick in the proverbial, so to speak, of getting yourself all the way back to having your first game, and then knowing that you might be out for months after is devastating for everyone.
Into the hat for Monday, home tie. Would you like a home tie, given the away draws have always seemed to come in the cup? Yeah, we always like ourselves at home, but to be honest with you, I'm not fussed. It's a good win. Any win when you're not playing, or not playing well, but not getting the results that you want, any win's a good win. And hopefully, like I say, in some ways you could say we're unbeaten in 3, or 2 league games and this cup game. So we're trying to get a little bit of momentum going and try and kick on for the second half. A word for the fans today. There's 900 here, but 300 of them were from Notts, so it's tremendous turnout, really.
It's incredible. I made the joke that we'd have to delay the game to let the crowd in and stuff before the game, just jokingly, but I honestly expected with the Christmas period coming up that we would carry 50 to 100 for this game at this time of the year. So to see that was really phenomenal. So I'm glad they've gone home and singing Christmas songs.